All right, so today we're going to talk about something a little different. It's not really a book, it's more like an urgent invitation. Yeah, an invitation to fundamentally reshape our communities, our country, right from the ground up.
And this quote? Wow, it really sets the stakes, doesn't it? Political scientist Robert Putnam just lays it out there. The future of our country is in your hands. I mean, think about that. This isn't just some casual observation. The source presents this as a direct challenge, basically saying the responsibility, it's on us.
So, an invitation. For what, exactly? Well, it's definitely not for a dinner party. It's a call to action, a call to help turn the whole country around. The argument here is that we're stuck in this deep rut, and it's a feeling a lot of people share, you know? No matter where you are on the political spectrum, there's this worry about the future, even if everyone disagrees on why we're in this mess.
And this really shows what that rut looks like, right? We're more polarized now than at any time since the Civil War. Trust in our institutions, it's just plummeting. And there's this mismatch, you know? The problems we're facing feel huge and heavy, but the tools we're using to solve them, they just don't feel up to the job anymore. It creates this sense that, that the problems are...
Okay, so that's the problem. But what's the solution? Where are we even heading? Well, the source suggests that the destination, the goal of this whole journey, means we have to completely rethink a word we all think we know. And that word is peace. This is so interesting. For a long time, the goal was something called negative peace. And that basically just means, the absence of war. Just stop the violence. But the argument here is that we need to aim for something much bigger, positive peace. This is a way deeper concept. It's about actually getting to the root causes of the conflict and building a society where everyone can actually thrive. Think about it. It's the difference between just a ceasefire and a community that has great schools, fair housing, and real opportunities for people.
And that brings us to this really core idea of peace building. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's an active process. It's a skill you can actually learn and practice, and not just if you're a diplomat or an activist. Anyone can do it. And that's the key takeaway here. This pivot. Stop focusing only on what we're against and start focusing on actively building what we are for.
Wow, and this quote, it just drives that point home so powerfully. It comes from an anecdote in the source, this moment of frustration in a meeting that turned into a huge revelation. The question was, how dare we tell people in Burundi that we can help them solve their problems if we can't do it in Baltimore? I mean, that's it, right? Peace building isn't something we just export to other countries. The real work starts right here, at home, in our own communities.
All right, so we've got our destination, positive peace, and we know it starts at home. But how? What are the first steps? Well, the source lays out 3 really powerful mindset shifts to get us on our way.
So here they are, a simple 3-step framework. First, we've got to dream the future. Second, we have to envision success. And third, we have to commit to the work. Let's break each of those down.
Okay, mindset number 1 comes from this really cool project called Australia Remade. And the whole idea is that you just can't move forward if all you do is focus on what you don't want. We have to dream together. We need to build a positive, shared vision of the future. The source calls it an ordinary paradise. And look, that's not some impossible utopia. It's just a vision of a society that's functioning, fair, and thriving, something we can all actually see ourselves in and get behind.
Mindset number 2 is this great mental trick from the writer Kelly Corrigan. It's all about envisioning success. So, when you're facing a challenge that feels just huge, you tell yourself the story of what happened after you solved it, like it's already over and you totally nailed it. It's a way to reframe these massive problems, make them feel achievable, and actually see the path forward a little more clearly.
And then there's mindset number 3, which, thanks to Jon Stewart, is a big old dose of reality. Real, lasting change, it isn't one big heroic moment. He calls it a lunch pail job. It's the unglamorous work. It's showing up day in and day out, knocking on doors, and just grinding it out until you get somewhere. It's about consistency.
So, okay, we've got this big vision and this new mental toolkit, but this isn't just a bunch of abstract ideas. The source is super clear that the most important work happens when you bring all this back down to earth, back to a personal starting point.
And this is the question, isn't it? After hearing all this, the scale of the problem, the amount of work it's going to take, it's so easy to just feel paralyzed. Like with a challenge this big, where on earth do you even begin?
The answer? It's so simple, but it's also incredibly powerful. Start where you are. That's it. The most effective change doesn't start in some far-off capital. It starts with us, in our own lives, at our jobs, in our neighborhoods. It starts with just becoming more self-aware and taking action right where you are.
It starts now.
And that brings us full circle, right back to the beginning. Remember, this isn't just information, it's an invitation, a call for you to be part of the solution. So we're left with this one final, very personal question that only you can answer. The invitation's been sent. How are you going to RSVP?